Hello and welcome to today's Unirac training webinar. My name is Shelley Kinnick and I am the event coordinator with OneSource Distributors. I am excited to introduce the Unirac team presenting today. Hector Caldera is an account manager for the Midwest and Canada. He has been with Unirac for almost 2 years. During this time with Unirac, he has worked in sales and technical support. Reggie Espedia is an installer sales specialist with Unirac. Reggie is the boots on the ground. He provides field support to customers throughout their projects and helps answer product questions or concerns. Karen Paramundium is the sales and marketing program manager at Unirac. Karen has been riding the solar coaster for over a decade, with the last 2.5 years at Unirac. Her educational background is in communication and production design. Solar is more than a vocation to Karen, it's a passion. Before I hand the mic over to Hector, I just have a few items to discuss. If you have a question for our speakers, please send it to all participants through the Q&A panel. All questions will be answered at the end of the training session. After the Q&A session, I will announce the raffle prize winner. Unirac is raffling off some cool Unirac gear. I will be contacting the winner after the webinar to confirm shipping details. Immediately following the presentation, a survey will pop up on your screen. Please make sure to complete it so that we can use your feedback to improve for future webinars. Lastly, this webinar will be recorded. All webinar recordings can be accessed on the Learning and Events page on our website. We will send the link to you after the webinar. So without further ado, I'd like to kick things off by welcoming Hector Caldera. Hector, over to you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Today we're going to talk about some of our Unirac commercial product offerings, and not just the product, but also the services that work behind the scenes to ensure a successful project. We have many services available to you that can help ensure that you have a smooth project from preliminary design to when it's finally installed. Little background about Unirac. We've been just over 22 years, one of the original racking manufacturers, over 1 million installations, 8 gigawatts installed, and we have a wide range of product offerings. So whether it's a flat roof commercial, residential, or ground mount, we have a product that can help you in your project. We have a dedicated commercial services team as well, that can assist with design, preliminary designs, construction drawings, permitting support, installation field support. And then not only that, but especially nowadays, we have a large and diverse supply chain to ensure that there aren't any extended lead times for your projects. You can't start a project without your racking. So, we invested heavily in our supply chain to avoid any disruptions in your project. Here, I'd just like to put out some project considerations that you often don't deal with. With residential projects, you usually what challenges you might encounter. With commercial projects, sometimes you run into various issues such as structural concerns for the building, the roof material, excessively tall buildings, flat roof with the pitch, site load concerns. There's just a wide range of different conditions that can make the project a little more daunting and challenging. But along with the racking, this is where our team comes in, and you can leverage us and the commercial services as an extension of your team and help you be more efficient in your processes and design. We have over 20 commercial project managers that are assigned usually to specific accounts and can help handle projects from start to finish. We have account managers throughout the U.S. as well, and then we have various engineers in-house that can help from the flat roof commercial projects to our ground mount products as well. Within everyone, we have a combined experience of over 100 years. Every week we design close to 200 CNI projects. So we have the experience to navigate, any challenges you might encounter. And then we have various options as well, that we can run the same project with various multiple product options to see which one will be best for your particular project. We also have, besides just the commercial services, you can do stamped engineering drawings, construction drawings, and we can do system layouts and custom design as well. So here's just a snapshot of all our product offerings. Today's focus is going to be on ballasted flat roof and also ground mount solutions. We also have solutions for a residential pitch roof. If you're interested in those, we can reach out to your rep individually, and we'll be happy to discuss those as well. RM10 is going to be the first one we talk about today. It's one of our longest lasting original commercial products. It's very simple to use. It consists mainly of two components. We have an aluminum bay, and we have a module clip and bolt as well. Because this is an aluminum bay, it is integrated bonding, so you can bond in with one lug. You can bond an array up to 100 by 100 feet. Very quick and easy to use. It's built for speed and efficiency. Up to about, on average, depending on experience, installers can install about 13 modules per man hour. So very, very quick and easy product to use. Here we have a case study for a project completed a few years ago for Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, about just under 6.5 megawatts using RM10. We were able to provide the customer a solution, a large-scale solution for different varying roof heights and also a special wind zone for a very high-profile installation. So making sure that the engineering was accurate to avoid any potential failures was key for such a high-profile install. And not only that, but for being such a large install, RM10 was perfect because we were able to, the installer was able to quickly install it on site and efficiently. RM5 and RMDT are one of our higher density options. RM5 is going to be our marine grade G235 bay. It has narrow interroll spacing up down to 7.5 inches or up to 11 inches. So you can fit a lot of modules in a small space. Because of the narrow interroll spacing, it's ideal for situations where you're working in tight conditions or perhaps there are larger setbacks required for the project. It has a very low profile to the roof, and it also uses wind deflectors. So as a result, it's a very lightweight system. So it's good for situations where you might be running into weight restrictions for the array. RM5 is a great solution, and a single tool install. RMDT is going to be our east-west facing system, made from the same durable marine grade G235 steel. Very high module density. Spacing at the ridge is just over 1 inch, and then spacing at the valley is going to be about 8 inches. The modules themselves act as wind deflectors, so it's a very, very low PSF system. And this is going to be the highest power density they can achieve out of our ballasted systems. Here we have a project that we were able to provide a solution for Altera Solar. It was for a store. They're working with large setbacks around the perimeter and around mechanical units, and they had a certain system size to hit. So with the combination of commercial services, engineering, and then RMDT, we're able to meet the system size requirements for the customer while also reducing and eliminating the need for any attachments in a high seismic region. So we'll talk a little bit about EcoFoot 2 Plus. This is going to be our latest addition to the Unirac product family after the acquisition last year. It's great that we have multiple options, because even though it's a 10-degree option, we have multiple 10-degree options. It's good to have choices for a project. EcoFoot 2 Plus is great because it has a very low profile to the roof, and you also have wind deflectors, which allows the system to sit lower to the roof, which makes it look great. But also it's very lightweight as a result. The reduction in the need for ballast results not only in the cost savings and having to source less brick, but also the associated labor of hauling brick onto the roof as well. It's very highly stackable. You can fit up to 50 kilowatts on a single pallet for EcoFoot 2 Plus. So staging the racking is very fast and efficient. The material, the base is made of an ASA resin base material. It is a very highly resistant UV resin. It's been used for many years, dozens of years, in the automotive industry, marine industry as well, outdoor signs. So it's a very highly UV resistant material. Here we have EcoFoot 5D, also joining from the EcoFoot family. So this is going to be our other 5-degree option. Inner row spacing is not adjustable, but it's still very narrow at 10 inches. So you can still get that high power density from row to row. Again, for situations where you're running into that you can't fit many modules onto a roof. There are 6 connection points for each module. There's going to be at the base, and there's also a mid support too. So it's really good also for situations if the site for the project is going to be in a high snow area. This is a good option as well. And then improve wiring access as well, in case for wire management, but also any service that might be needed on the system down the road. Here we have a case study for a warehouse in North Central California, about just under 3.5 megawatts using EcoFoot 2 Plus. The goal here was to offer a large-scale solution and also minimize the weight on the roof, and also the need for attachments. So using EcoFoot 2 Plus, we were able to provide a solution where we were, able to minimize the number of quantity of blocks that needed to be on the roof. So that allowed the roof, the system to be very, very lightweight when compared to other 10-degree ballasted options. Here we have Flashlock RM. Recently, when attachments were needed on the roof, the other options on the market were something similar to U-Anchor or OMG. Those options usually require a roofer to be on site to install them. Having a roofer on site adds time and cost to a project that needs attachments. So, we came out with Flashlock RM last year. This attachment has been great because you don't need a roofer on site to install it. There's no heat welding to the membrane. It's a very strong attachment. You can get up to just over 6,600 pounds of ultimate uplift when all fasteners are used. And it's also compatible with a wide range of roof material. And then
just wanted to add a little bit on that, Hector. I wanted to add just kind of the application process, very simple. Again, like you mentioned, don't need a third party, roofer, somebody to come out and weld or do any other specific, labor. So your installers can easily mount these to the roof. Just find out where your attachment is needed, place this on the roof, and then go ahead and lag it down. Before lagging it down, you put a bead of sealant around the Flashlock RM itself, and also depending on how many attachments or fasteners you're using, also apply a bead of sealant on those as well. And the fasteners are not included, but we do, we work with if they're, third-party structural engineers to determine how many fasteners your project will need. So it's very project specific on how many fasteners and what size fastener you'll need. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But once that's fastened to the roof, seal it with M1 Part 1, and then it comes with a cap, so you'll be able to cap it. Very clean aesthetic look as well. So very user friendly. So something to definitely keep in mind.
Absolutely. Thank you, Reggie. In addition to using it for situations that you need attachments for ballast bays, you can also install an L-foot as well. So you can use it with rail applications too. Along with also the products themselves, we have various other types of accessories that help complement the installation, give it a clean finish. The first one is going to be our EcoMount Kit. For some of the larger inverters, we have the single kit and also 2 kit options that uses the same EcoFoot 2 Plus base, and then aluminum and strut support as well. We have the Eco Tray as well that helps with some of the wire management on the roof. Has a very low profile to the on the roof. The overall height is just at 2.5 inches, so you can tuck it underneath modules. It's made from the same highly durable ASA resin material as well, so it can stand up to the elements. At the module level, we have the EcoFoot MLPE mount, or MLPE bracket, which mounts onto the EcoFoot base. This is a great solution if you're looking to mount the microinverter onto the base itself. And we also have smaller units that mount the microinverter to the return flange of the module. So you have multiple options as well there. One of the additions from the Eco family was the MetalX product. And the reason we're excited about MetalX is because oftentimes metal roofs are overlooked, but they offer a great real estate space for solar. Usually they're very structurally sound, reinforced with purlins, steel purlins. So they're very strong structurally, roofs. Oftentimes too, the metal of these roofs are about 25, 22 gauge, so they're very thick. They can handle any attachments that you throw on there. And they also offer, MetalX offers, because this is a direct to roof attachment, there are no rails, there's less waste. There's 73% less aluminum. So your racking is this attachment that mounts onto the frame of the module. So their staging, the job is very simple, straightforward. You're not having to manage large sticks of rail on a slippery roof, metal roof. When we get a request for a metal roof design, all we need is the usual information, site address, module layout, but also the roof profile and the spacing. We take that information and we compile a complete deliverable package that includes the metal roof clamp. Oftentimes, the challenge for installers is identifying what clamps are needed and what your spacing is going to be. So we kind of take upon that burden and deliver a full package to installers. Because there's no rail, there's going to be less waste as well. It fits modules up between 30 and 46 millimeter, and just a good solution for metal roofs. In this situation here is a project in Illinois. As you can see in the flat roof section, they used EcoFoot 2 Plus, but there is a lot of large metal roof surface that was great for solar. So in combination with EcoFoot and MetalX, this installer was able to optimize the system size for their customer. So if, without taking MetalX into consideration, the potential for solar would have been missed if they didn't consider the roof surface there. And then we have our ground mount solutions as well. One of our most popular ones is going to be our ground fixed tilt option. This is a single post design, pre-assembled components for 20 and 30 degrees. And then we can configure the rails with multiple options. This picture here is going to be a 3-rail option, but you can do up to 4 rails, and in very high wind, high snow situations, you can also do up to 8 rails for extreme conditions. So we can engineer it according to the conditions. One of the benefits for GFT, especially in today's commodity markets, is that this is a complete solution. When using a traditional pipe system, you still have the burden of having to source that Schedule 40 or Schedule 80 pipe, and the cost of that pipe oftentimes is fluctuating from week to week, or sometimes a few days. So ground fixed still, this is a complete system that you don't have to worry about what the cost of steel, the Schedule 40 steel, is going to be next week. Depending on the type of foundation, that's going to determine what pile you use. You can use driven foundation that drives the pile 8 feet into the ground. We also have cast in place that goes into the ground 6 feet. And for situations that perhaps you're working in a area where you're hitting rock after a few feet, or maybe a high water table, or oftentimes what we're seeing is solar being installed, for example, on landfills, and the soil conditions are pretty poor, excuse me. The ground fix still has the option to use a ballasted spread footing design, so that's it's very flexible as far as foundation options. Also, if there are soil tests or geotech studies done, we can take that information. We have an in-house geotech engineer, and he can adjust the engineering report to reflect the soil conditions of that site to ensure that the system doesn't run into any issues into the future. And next, our other ground mount option is going to be ULA. It's going to be your traditional Schedule 40 2-inch pipe system. Dual post design. We have rows of penetration in the front and in the rear, north-south. And it uses our tried and tested solar mount rail. And also we're incorporating GFT rail as well to help manage the cost. You can install this in tilt angles between 5 and 40 degrees. And we also have the options to use ground screws, which is a huge benefit because you don't have to wait for concrete to cure. And you can begin, depending on the system size, you can begin racking on the same day. Depending on the width of the module, you can go 5 high, but if it's a narrow module, 40 inches or narrower, and depending on the tilt angle, you can actually go up to 6 high. So you can fit a lot of modules into a small footprint, which is one of the benefits for ULA, because you can fit a lot of solar into a small space. The locally sourced Schedule 40 means that there's some logistics savings, but again, that is something that has to be sourced separately by the installer. It's great for small residential installs, but it's highly scalable for larger commercial projects as well.
To add a little bit to that, Hector, on the ground mount solutions, just from field experience, I can definitely tell you guys, using, in comparison ULA to ground fixed, the ground fix is definitely, an awesome solution for a more fast-paced install, efficient install, and not having to source anything else. So definitely very versatile. A lot of great options as far as like shared rail, 4 rail, or whatever rail options you need, right? So the versatility is there. Again, with the pile driven system, pretty neat that you're able to install a ground mount in, it can be, depending on the size of the system, could be a day could be a week. Again, depending on size of the system, it all varies, but it definitely cuts back the amount of labor that goes into it compared to a ULA system or anything comparable. So something to keep in mind. Two great systems, great options, and support is always there. So just wanted to throw that in there as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Reggie. All right. Besides just the product itself, as mentioned earlier, we have a lot of support services behind the scenes. We want to make sure you have a successful project from the moment you get a design from us to the installation. So we have various in-house services that are free to you and to your installers. We don't charge for revisions as well. We can compile a complete construction drawing set. And if needed, we can also provide structural stamps for the racking as well. Again, especially commercial projects, they go through a lot of changes. So if we need to change construction drawings down the way, we can easily do that as well. Along with these, we also provide the CAD drawings. So if a customer is using, if you're using your CAD, you can easily take our drawings and incorporate it into your layout and compare where roof obstructions and whatnot is located at. Here's some of our lead times for our deliverables. Our bill of materials, you can get it turned around usually in 2 days. Right now, we're seeing about 4 days. Engineering report as well, quotes. The ones that we're seeing kind of take the longest is PE stamps. Right now, we're hitting about 7 days. We don't stamp any of our documents in-house for transparency reasons. Those are sent out, and those are also state specific. So, depending on what you need, we can get you almost anything within a week time frame. Again, going along with that support service behind the scenes, we have installer sales specialists. This is the role that Reggie is in, and so these guys are great. It's a free service available to anyone who's perhaps already using Unirac and wants to try something else, or it's their first experience. They go out into the field and work hand in hand with the installer to ensure that the installation process goes smooth, there aren't any hiccups, and they're being, again, as efficient as possible on site. It's just a matter of coordinating schedules and calendars ahead of time. But yeah, we have these guys located in Florida, up to the Northeast in New York, Southern California, the Southwest, and Midwest. So we have installer sales specialists all over the US. So yeah, we definitely recommend that you take advantage of this free service and offer it.
For sure. Again, to add a little bit to that, being in that role, it's awesome to be able to share some of the experience that I've gained through the years, right, in the industry with others, especially those who aren't so familiar with solar or racking or just this industry at all. So it's very nice that I'm able to share that. Done it all, right, from install to ops management to service, O&M, you name it. So very great service that we offer to make sure that your guys' crews and or whoever with the company is able to get the most out of Unirac and our racking and support services. So definitely take advantage of that. And I'm always more than happy to come out and join in any project that you may have coming up to make it a more easy and efficient install in the process.
Yeah, I think, and also Reggie, it kind of brings to mind what we're seeing now with that's very common. You probably see it in your industry too. Is that many companies that do roofing or do HVAC are getting into solar as well. So the installer sales specialist, it's great to bring them in on board and kind of help them get started. And also if they're already doing solar, but they only do residential, and they want to get into commercial, or maybe they want to expand and start offering ground mount solutions, this is a great opportunity to reach out and get some boots on the floor.
Definitely.
And here we have various resources. We definitely encourage you to reach out. Our LinkedIn page, we're constantly posting news, not only related to Unirac, but industry news. On our Instagram page, we like to feature installs as well. But it's also nice to see, if perhaps you haven't done a ground mount or a balancer system, we share a lot of great content, field photos, so you can see what that looks like on the field. We have our YouTube page, which has a lot of helpful videos for various steps in the installation process. We have a U-Builder tool. You can design a project anytime. And then that helps you walk through, design the project. And then our Facebook page as well has great content. I can't see them. Any questions? Let me see. So Reggie, we have what roofing manufacturers are approved for what? I don't see the whole thing. I'm sorry.
What roofing manufacturers are approved for, just in general, for all our RM product or roof mount commercial systems?
I'm not sure. I can't see the whole question, but it says just as far, well, I'll talk about maybe what roofing manufacturers are approved in regards to ballast. One thing that comes up is, especially for flat roof commercials projects, is if there's an active roof warranty, we always recommend with the roof, whoever holds a roof warranty, to check if pads are needed, roof pads, or oftentimes slip sheets are needed. So ballast systems are not per se approved per roof manufacturer, but you can do things to make sure that you don't void any roof warranty. Flashlock RM, it's approved by, we can work with Carlisle, one-on-one with Carlisle, project basis. It's GAF is another roof manufacturer that Flashlock RM is approved for. We have a few. Can't think of any other ones. Yeah, we'll find that information and throw it in the chat.
Yeah, we do have a list of roofing manufacturers that are approved. We can definitely share that with everyone on the webinar.
Are there any other questions? This was meant more to be a more high-level overview of the products to kind of get you familiar with some of the names and their features, but we can definitely dive deeper into one in particular. Our ground mount questions. I know sometimes ground mounts, there's some questions with ground mounts. Are there any questions?
Hey, Hector, just to add to that question, it was for Flashlock RM. So I think we do have a list, and the list keeps growing. So that's a list that we can definitely share.
Okay. No other questions? Okay. Yes, yeah. All right, I think it's time to give away some goodies. Shelly, I think you're on mute still.
Sorry about that. I was going through my spiel and I was on mute. Thank you so much, Hector and Reggie. I'm excited to announce today's raffle winner. Unirac is raffling off some really cool gear, including a tool bag, water bottle, net cooler, gloves, hat, anti-fog safety glasses, caulking gun, and a couple of other surprises. So I'm just sharing my screen here. Can you guys see my wheel?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So, well, let's spin the wheel and see who the winner is. All right, Lauren Heston is our winner.
Actually, Lola was actually one of our employees, so let's move to the next one. She must have registered without her employee name.
Yeah, there was no employee names. Okay, let me do it again.
I think we got Jason on there as well.
Carrie Nishida. Wow.
Nice. Nice.
Congratulations, Carrie. All right, Carrie, I will be contacting you. I know you've been lucky. You've won one of our other raffles. So, Carrie Nishida with Hawaii Electric Light Company. So
Awesome.
thank
Awesome. You show up.
you. All right. Well, that concludes our webinar today. Thank you so much to the Unirac team for such a great presentation, and thank you to everyone for attending. OneSource will be offering supplier training webinars every month, so be on the lookout for more information. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everyone.
Y'all have a good one.